Another day and more work. Always more work. But that's what it is here in my world, and invariably an alternative way of life. It's not for the idle soul, for a better choice of words. But here we go. As you can see up on that corner there, it took me ages to basically get blocks and the right sort of blocks and things to stabilise the generator and square it up so that I've got nice and tight and close. Didn't want it touching because of if it's running it vibrates, so that's got to be free. So there's just a little gap there, so to act as a back wall to this area, because I'm going to put a car in here, put a camper in here, work on it, because there'll be a cover over it eventually, and there'll be an access doorway. Got a plan for that. So, and this all eventually, we'll get it all sorted out. It will all come to fruition. But today's hat, that'll be this one then. It's going to be, you tell me in the comments, is it Bob the Builder or Kev the Carpenter? Let me show you what I'm going to try and do. This box is going to be my workshop, and I've come up with what I feel is a genius idea. No doubt you guys will tell me, but being that the doors weren't on this when I purchased it anyway, and the front corners are too rotten to try and reinstall those doors, which would have been the initial plan, and you'd think quite easy, you know, glue a little bit of metal together, put doors on, jobs are good. But I came up with a lovely little plan, and recycling all the leftover bits of the decking, and including things like, go over that, the 4x2 bearers that were on the veranda, plus I've got some 6x2s, lots of bits of timber that were dismantled from the veranda. And as you know, yes, I used quite a lot of the decking for the raised beds and finished them off nicely, and you lot seem to like it as well, so that pleases me. And so I thought, right, I know what I want to do here. And I thought, how am I going to do it? You know, it's like, well, measure it up, find out how much timber you want, go to the builders merchants, get a load of timber, spending money. Whoa, spending money? We don't do that in this world. Looking around again what I had and with what I'm trying to achieve, and I'm not going to tell you right now, you're going to have to wait and see, but I'm going to achieve a little bit of like a log cabin-y type front to this for my workshop. And the way I'm doing it, I think it's going to be a good one. Anyway, I need to get on with this. I'll see you in a bit. Anyway, yeah, what we're doing is making a stud wall. I'm going to make a box area. So it's just going standard stud wall, 4x2, got the 4x2s, and you know, so reusing. Thing being is, you know, trying to save a bit of timber. I don't quite see on there, but there's a metal bracing bar goes across the top. So I'm drilling through the bracing bar and then screwing these obviously vertical, and I'll have a solid partition wall. Then there'll be a door, and that will go in to the workshop. It really is, well, it's not been that simple, to be honest with you. I can see the appeal to just go and buy shop bought timber and then cut it to size, and I mean, it's brilliant, yeah. And I'm trying to work with what I've got, so it's like trying to build a jigsaw with the wrong jigsaw pieces in a strange way. And let me just get. a mark on there because you don't want to listen to this for a couple of minutes. But there, that's the basics of me. Yeah, there's the stud partition, and then down the front, bit of insulation in the back. But aha, I've got another trick. Again, using something that's cost me nothing. Anyway, let me get this done. I'll get the next bit up, and I'll show you the next trick. But I love it. Reusing, yeah, it's not costing money. Right, let's just measure this side. Get it right. Oh, that's that. Overthinking again, boys and the girls. They all need. There's my mark. Just there. That's all I need to do. Yeah, basically, they're decking. And I've got a little plan because obviously it's wider than stud. And making a stud, so just put a bit of stud in. There you go, 4 inches. This is 120 mil. But I have a plan. This will go in here and I'll have a little ledge, a little lock and everything. Because I'll be working around it. You'll see what's going to happen. Well, as you can see, I've got little bits and pieces in there. A little bit of extra stud work with a reasonably large gap. But this stud work is going nowhere. Because it's fixed to the floor, it's fixed to the beam there, and everything's screwed together. But this piece here is housing this piece here. What we've got to do, it's going to be a snug fit because I've measured accordingly. And I need to move right there. But well, it is a snug fit. Yeah. I've got to just slacken that off a little bit, which is good. Because I'm just pinching it in. I'm actually building a double glazed unit into building this frame around it. I don't need it to open because I have a door here, but I'll be able to see out. Right. See you in a minute once I've done the adjustments, so you don't want to hear the noise. How are we doing? Well, as you can see, been a bit of a difference, and there's been a couple of doors. A little bit disappointed I forgot to film it. Also, a little bit happy that I didn't, because it would have been a very 18 certificate. Not a professional carpenter, and hanging doors is a bit of an art. And when you've got two and you've got to get them level and all hanging plumb, I was throwing quite a few words around. But I don't let it stop me. I will always achieve. Dogged determination. Even when you really think you can't. Walk away 5 minutes, have a cup of tea, think of something else, come back. Your mind's a little bit fresher. But there we go. We have 2 doors. Last bit of the stud work, which now I've still got to build the box out there, just out there. You'll probably see part of that. And finish off the walls. Then I have the start of my new workshop. How we doing, people? Another day at the grindstone. When just marking up the points where basically I need to be cutting, and hold on, just get me mark right. Because you can just see behind me, I'm starting to do that wall. But the thing being, to be honest with you, it's been a lot more challenging than I anticipated. And the reason being is it didn't take me long to realise that what I thought was going to be nice and easy is kind of easy, but I'm working on limited resources because I don't want to be purchasing and I want to be frugal. So with what decking boards I had left, I had to work out, and I found a few other little bits of timber and things like this, and I'm just trying to work out that I think, and that is a big think, I think I've got enough to do all of the front, but, and in being frugal, then I've got that solar generator now, £10, skill saw, does the job all your £300 ones do that run with batteries. So there we have it. Anyway, I'm busy doing this. I've kind of built the box. Hold on. Sorry about the noise there. But there we go. What we have is another piece of the jigsaw puzzle, which will go in there. Right. I've got to keep going because I've got to get this job done. But you get the idea. See you in a little bit. There we go. Almost another task off the list. Just giving this protective coat of creosote. This pine top probably won't take anything in much because there's a bit of a lacquer on it. What I'm doing is I'm going to give it a coat of paint. I've seen one area that's taken it in and another area that is not, but that's fine. It can dry or soak or do what it wants to do, over the next 24 hours, and then I shall wipe off any excess, and hopefully it will leave this wood protected from the weathers, protected from termites, and all the usual shenanigans that can make it go bad. But there's something so satisfying when you get to the point that you know you're very near completing another task. This one, let me put that there. This one's been very challenging because I'm working on a small amount of timber and trying to make it work and fit. And yes, I had the double glazing panel. The doors, they cost me £40. This panel will come out and this panel comes off because the generator's in there. So if I need to run the generator to give the generator the air and everything so that it doesn't shut down, I can easily detach, take that side panel out, take that top panel off, and the generator is perfectly safe. And with all that was left over, one little piece of the pine, and literally that's the longest piece I have left. So I've done well out of that. But time to clear that mess up. So I think it looks good. What do you think? Put it in the comments. I appreciate that. And there we have my new workshop space. Well, I built it just for this rocking chair. I didn't, but it kind of came into the planning because this one was a floating one. Didn't get rid of it. Thought I'd have a use for it. Ta-da! I now have somewhere to sit just outside of my workshop, you know, especially on a nice day, but even on a winter's day, because I'm protected from the weather. And I can sit back. As behind the camera is my garden that's gloriously being seen to with Mother Nature. I've got to do the watering in a minute. I had a friend come and stay for a few days and they planted my raised beds for me and my tyres. So I am fully planted up for now, including some seeds put in the polytunnel. Thank you to Esther. You have made a big difference in helping me, not only just allowing me to concentrate on doing the construction side of my life, but you've helped me know that I'm going to have food throughout the year, more so the winter, as explained, more root vegetables for the winter. But it's summer, the sun is starting to go down slowly. I've got strawberries freshly picked. You can't get better than that. So, quick recap. All of this, apart from the doors that cost me £40, I need to make a couple of handles or buy a couple of handles. I shall see what I can do. The floor I need to get at some point. I need to redo this floor here because it is a little bit rotten, but it is a serviceable, usable unit. And at the moment, it's cost me a grand total of £40. And if you want to include the skill saw, a total of £50. I'm having a cup of tea. The chicken logo is up in the corner and I appreciate like, share, subscribe. Just remember, folks, you've got to put in a lot of hard work, as I have over this has taken me nearly 4 days with a few interruptions, but nearly 4 days to really get my head around it, work out what I've got, how I can best use it. And yeah, it would have been easier. Just measure it up, trot off to the builders merchants and spend money. No, we live a frugal life and we use, reuse, upcycle and recycle. Anyway, folks, I'm going to enjoy my view with a cup of tea and some of my strawberries. Thank you for watching. You take care, and we will see you next time. Ta-da.